Question number 11, Phil Twyford.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is for the Minister of Transport. Does he support light rail from the Auckland city centre along Dominion Road to reduce congestion and improve urban amenity along the route?
You know you want to, Simon.
The Honourable Simon Bridges.
Mr Speaker, I support transport solutions that are delivered at the right time, provide the best value for money and are based on evidence. The recent Auckland Transport Alignment Project that the government and Auckland jointly undertook shows that some form of rapid transit, whether it's bus or light rail, will be required on the Auckland Isthmus between 2028 and 38. Officials are currently looking into the best options, so it's important officials do this work before politicians leap in. Because as we've seen with Labor and internationally recently, light rail projects are highly susceptible to multi-billion-dollar cost blowouts.
Supplementary, sir.
Supplementary question, Phil Twyford.
Has an actual business case been done on the Prime Minister's suggestion that fast buses be used instead of light rail? Or is this just another example of the government's stream of consciousness approach to dealing with chronic congestion in Auckland, which is costing the city billions of dollars in lost productivity?
Mr Speaker, no, that's the absolute point
Simon
here.
Bridges.
Mr Speaker, that's the point here. No business case has been done on anything. And that's why it was so stupid to make a $700 million promise that overnight became $1,400 million and may well be $2 billion before they're finished.
Order. 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 I don't need the assistance from members to my far right.
Do you want to answer it, Stephen?
Order. David Bennett.
You may as well answer it.
Order. Order. Mr Bennett might think it's a joke. I'm quite serious. Members have a right to ask a question, and if the members are delayed from asking that question and not given the opportunity to hold the government to account, that's a serious matter. And if I need to ask somebody from that quarter to be leaving the House to get some control, I won't hesitate to do so. Phil Twyford, supplementary question.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Does he agree with the Auckland Central Access Plan that investing in more buses would cost $9.5 billion and generate safety concerns, while light rail would cost less than half that and improve safety and travel time reliability? Or does he support Parmjit Parmar's plan to fix congestion by building more bus stops?
Those figures.
The Honourable Simon Bridges.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Those figures sound highly inflated. I think the point of all of this is let's have officials and experts actually go away and analyse the options before we make promises that go from hundreds of millions to billions without any sense of what the true costs and the benefits of it all are.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Phil Twyford.
Will he confirm that in the negotiations on the Auckland Transport Alignment Project, the Council wanted light rail in the first decade, but he and Bill English insisted on pushing it back so it wouldn't happen until after 2028?
The Honourable
Mr
Simon
Speaker,
Bridges.
what I confirm is that unlike the way the Labor Party may have acted when it's in office, there was no political interference. This was a process that was about officials and experts working through this rationally and on the basis of evidence, and they came out with 2028 to 2038. Mr Speaker, on this side of the House, we work through the evidence before we make promises.
Supplementary question, Marama Fox.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Will the Minister look into a study to rejoin the Wairoa to Gisborne rail link, providing vital infrastructure to the region?
It's a fair way from the original, but I'll give the Minister a chance. The Honourable Simon Bridges.
Mr Speaker, let's see what happens.
Supplementary question, Phil Twyford.
Why does his government keep playing politics with Auckland Transport when according to the Ministry of Transport, delays in the average morning commute have gone up by 25% since 2012.
The Honourable Simon Bridges.
Mr Speaker, here's what I call playing politics. Making a $700 million promise that overnight becomes $1,400 million without any evidence, without any benefit-cost ratio, basically on the back of the envelope stuff. That's what I call playing pork barrel politics.
Order. Order.
Supplementary.
Bill Twyford, supplementary question.
Can he confirm that National is taking its typical five-step approach to Auckland Transport? 1, trash the project. 2, let several years go by. 3, blame others for the problem. 4, let more years go by. 5, belatedly admit that Labor's policy was right all along.
The Honourable Simon Bridges.
Mr Speaker, what I can confirm is that government in Auckland has the best relationship in regard to transport that's had in a very long time. And that's because we've joined together, we have done the analysis, and we're investing billions of dollars. We have an indicative plan to spend a further $24 billion over the next decade in an integrated way, roading, public transport of a variety of forms. We're a strong government and infrastructure that is making a real difference when it comes to transportation in Auckland.
Question. Order. 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 Order.